let's speak about the symptoms of the black mirror. And to do that, I'll just pull up a backdrop here. Let's do this. Current time. Alright, so the black mirror, it's an old concept. First time I heard about it was through Terence McKenna speaking of John Dee. He spoke about it in terms of scrying. Around the same time I discovered that, I heard it through Michael Tsarian, and he spoke about it in terms of the mirror as in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where the evil queen seeks the knowledge of the intelligence of the mirror, the knowledge that it can bring you. And like the lamp with the djinn, the genies of the lamp, the capacity of creation is reciprocal to the depth of relation. So what is the question? What is the desire? What is the seeking? When you have retarded yourself because you over-identify with the programming of life, then you cannot solve the equation because you are trapped in the logic of the reciprocation, the observation. So you got to smash the mirror, essentially. You have to go to the mirror within and realize what actually is reflecting. Is it actually you, or is it just the memory of the ghost of the past, the ghosts in the machine? Imagine the body in Avatar. This is a great gift of life, to be alive in this human form, physical form. It's amazing. Doesn't always feel so. But we know it's amazing because we experience the depths and the heights. We see the potential and the limitation. Because we can't hold all the possibilities, the freedom scares us, and we hold true to that which is most resonant with the day-to-day, the lowest common denominators as they settle in relation to existence. And there's a flow. You just go with it. Go along to get along. So right now, this concept of the black mirror, I'm sure everyone has heard. It's the computer screen, it's the television, it's the phone, it's basically the information. The information slowly, the information was never 100% accurate. It's just more so now, it's more obvious that we live in these fractalized algorithms of constraint, beliefs, binding the thoughts, which twist this sense of self into a form of less than rather than greater than. It is a retarding agent. Convenience is also a retarding agent. Sure, I would rather have running water in the home than have to go to the river, but if the poison in the tap is is killing me, then I'd rather go to the river. And if the river water is poisoned, I'd rather find a well. It's like you gotta keep moving in life, otherwise you die. And it is a slow death. First you bury the child within, the possibilities, the freedom to be. And then you bury everyone else. You build walls to keep everyone else's beliefs out, and you find the echoes which serenade you in this delirium. So the information, we all live in these little echo chambers. I'm not going to pay attention to all the varying belief systems out there. I'm trying to drop my own. I don't want to accumulate more. But the feudalism of psyche, of spirit, through this Aquarian breakdown, everything crushing through the 0 point of Aries, to be observed through the Libra point, to be reborn, cycled, circled. Now I've heard people speak of life as fractals. It is a hologram. It is a program. It's a, what do they call it? A simulation. Conception is a simulation. There's a delay between what you know and what you pick up in the senses. I don't believe in the mechanisms of mind. I believe in the ineffable. What cannot be defined. That's the only truth. Everything else is true for a moment, and it transforms into a deeper or a higher, sometimes a lesser truth, when you are witnessing the death of absolution. So we're in these little echo chambers. We're bound to these beliefs. We over-identify ourselves with our culture and the programming of the holy beliefs, the religions. And that religiosity is not just in the churches or it's not just trapped in the organized systems. It is beyond that. That's just a very ancient way that we worshipped and honored life, and we gave away the purity of the ineffable so we could build form and build buildings and write books and create rules and mythologies which reinforce the polis, the constructs which rise in our societies. It's a twisted and beautiful thing. It is the control of the chaos, creating wakes, creating gravity. It's like you walk into a room, you can feel people. Some people you can feel before they even enter the room. That's what we are running into now. We feel the change before it's here, and we're looking for the signs, and we're given the signs, we're given the doctrines, the narratives. But I digress. Let's get back to the sense of self. You're in the echo chamber of your device, of your black screen. You've over-identified yourself with an element of your culture, whether it's a religion or a political movement or a scientific belief or a book or a experience that keeps happening over and over for you, and you have resonated and found the tribe of other people. Usually it's victimhood. We tend to seek lowest common denominator because we're afraid to climb out. Because someone will shoot us, someone will pull us down. Someone will burn us, reprimand us, tell us we're wrong. Because it's safe in the hole. And anyone that goes out the hole, they're unsafe. And they make it less safe for me because they're showing me my weakness. They're showing me what I'm holding on to that I should actually release, and I can't handle it yet. Me as in everyone that's stuck in the hole. Sometimes we don't know we're in the hole. So, we see the feudalism of spirit rising. People are breaking into their little kingdoms of belief structures. They're identifying with this group or that group or this movement or that movement. Meanwhile, the construct of the polis is turning the control state, as it will, is reciprocal of the chaos. So as the chaos grows, the control grows. So that's a good sign when you see technocracy rising and you see people falling into the idiocy of their retardation. And you should actually study words, not the significance of the cultural norms. Don't be programmed by the masses. Program yourself. If words offend you, if things offend you, then that's your problem. That's your limitation. Beliefs are limitations. You should kill them when you can. You have to create, not consume. And a new belief, a growing belief is a powerful thing. Because it is in co-creation with the unknown. That's the only truth. Another digression. So, breaking out of your echo chamber, we're seeing a lot of cultures combined. When I grew up in Minneapolis, when I went to big towns, I just, everyone said they're sophisticated, they're in the future, they've got all this diversity and these different groups of people coming together. But I saw more prejudice, more racism, more dissension amongst the ranks in bigger cities than any small town. There is a difference between ignorance and intent when it comes to prejudice. We have to be able to understand within ourselves and realize what we think is a program, whether it's with good intention or negative, doesn't matter. You have to realize your ruler might be calibrated perfectly, but the terrain of this existence is not perfectly calibrated, so it's better to be dynamic, fluid, mutable. And the only way to do that is to drop the rigidity within yourself, to allow the fire of yourself to melt this belief structure so that it can be bent, so that it can be worked with through co-creating your life. So people are becoming weaponized. We'll just say 70% for logos' sake. Now, say 70% of the people, they're digesting deep things, and their excess energy that they're using in that burning process is being circuited into the creation of other structures, bigger structures, societal construct, cultural progressions, cosmic coincidences. And then there's 30% oscillating in and out of Normieville, in and out of this sleep. They're trying to understand the sense of self beyond the limitations of the knowledge, to get in tune with the sense of feeling into what truth could be, not what it is. It's not easy, especially in the world of symbols. The 10,000 things are alluring. The glamour pulls. When the pain hits, you need a fix. But the pain comes to be recognized. And that recognition is the healing, and as you do that, you find others in the pain as well. And you reciprocate unconsciously with each other. Your energy is osmosed. And you learn, you realize you can't stop learning in this world. Doesn't matter if you've gone brain dead. The soul, the spirit is still here. And some people who have died, their spirits and souls still learning, even though they're disembodied. It's to try and limit truth to what you can understand is hubris, and that's what we're fighting right now with this Aquarian anoretics energy. So embody nemesis for yourself so that you don't need to be shown by the world, and if you are, by the others or the world, it's not going to be quite as jarring and traumatizing. It's going to be enlivening and uplifting. So now, all the people who have found solace in the structures of the past, the religions, specifically Abrahamic, which of course were created, and if you don't know that yet, then you should realize that culture is a teacher. Our constructs, our programs, protocols on a network of unconscious spirit. And we dance around the burning bush, looking at the colors, singing the songs, doing all the things, and it's a sacred dance, and it doesn't seem sacred in real time a lot of times, but it is if you step back and use the imagination to break yourself from the binds of time. So the religious wars, the feudalism of spirit, and when I say religious, it's just not about spiritual paint by numbers stuff. It's also your belief systems tied to math and language and systems of thought which bring us into the sciences from the occult. It's all observance, Our belief systems are based upon dreams, the Big Bang. No one was fucking there. I don't believe it for a second. Never did, never will. But it's a good communal try, But like any fine meal, you leave it on the table without using what's good within it, eating it, consuming it, it just begins to rot. And then you start eating all the rotted stuff and you wonder why you're sick. But you don't know because you weren't there when it was first laid out. You didn't know how much it deteriorated. It's like fast food, you leave it on the table for weeks, it still looks brand new, but when you eat it, you get sick. That's a lot of the knowledge right now because we're in the devolution stage for new evolution to rise. First, it will be evil because that's the darkness. You have to recognize what's dark within you through seeing it in the world and in others. And then it's the revolution, which is a reevaluation of what this evil actually is, what this world is, what you are capable of. The world, it's not all lowest common denominator. It's just we get stuck in this mental construct. The senses bring us into the mind, so we're bound in that void between the knowing and the information. The knower knows, the thinker thinks. A lot of creation happens there, but it is perfected replication, and it's necessitated by existence. We are here to create as much as we are here to destroy. We're more than just one thing. We're more than conception, essentially. Right, so as people, the 70% become pawns in the game of change, the weaponization, the weapons of these internalized belief structures rise up as soldiers on the forefront of change, fighting to preserve the purity of a belief system which has taken their purity in order so that it may live. So a lot of people are bound to the role of a familiar, like these semi-human, ghoulish people who do the bidding of the vampires. The ones who take the purity to create their own life. The ones who find themselves climbing hierarchy to be elite, to be number one, to be the best. The ones who want to set themselves apart from everyone else because they feel so much lack within themselves. They need to take it from others. And it's in the blood of all of us, not just a few. But if you are bound to victimization, and you think that this group, this race, this movement is bad, you should question yourself. Why the fuck do you need to fight that war? You never solve the equation with the logic which created it. You got to get out of the box and go to the purity of creation. And we want to belong. We've been ostracized for thousands of years, and now we're in this place where we're coming together, but everyone wants to get into their group to come together. It's like, old tribal wars. I'll think of Scotland, or Germany, all the tribes get together to face the enemy which is coming in, which is change. We'll just go with the Romans. But there have been many civilizations we have forgotten about. We were all kings at one time. We were all queens, we were all slaves, we were all everything you could be, but we are gods. Otherwise we wouldn't be. If you can conceive it, it is within you. If you deny it, then it is something you're working through. It's better to deny the world than yourself. You have to be able to compassionate the self to enliven the world in order to enable the world. It's like a video game, you don't know anything about existence. You're just accumulating experience. As you accumulate experience, you're qualified for more awareness. You go out to different missions or whatever. The story grows. It's like a baby. They can't see, and eventually they can start to see. The senses come online. Then they try and integrate the sense of self into the world, and the world is looping all these energies, and it's like informing this baby, giving it homework for the next 80 to 100 years, if you're lucky. Or however long you need. Some people, they don't need that much. They're here for certain things. Most people that are here are actually living multiple lives, not just in this world, but in other dimensions. There's no separation when you go outside the material. And I don't know that for a fact. It's a sense of feeling. It is a less limiting belief than the atomistic paradigm. And it's one that has resonated with me since I was little. So these wars of beliefs, the battlefield of beliefs, when you want to argue with someone, what makes you want to argue? Is it that you want to be true, or is there actually a sense of doubt within yourself that they're tapping into? The other, the opposition, the nemesis. And if you feel that, then there must be some truth in that, because if you think about it, the beliefs were imprinted upon you. They were given to you. You have to sacrifice a sense of yourself in order to live up to the expectation, to feed the life force into the belief. So do not let lowest common denominator senses limit you. It's going to be hard because the people that we live with are going to be getting programmed to these extreme degrees for a time. But it really does show you what has been showing you the whole time, that epigenetics are key. You have to find the place where you can be authentic. And for some people that is right in the heart of darkness. They've got to be in relation with opposition in order to find the true sense of self. That's the spark, that's the fire, that's good. For other people, it is about finding resonance with people of like spirit. For some people, it's finding the resonance of nature, the place, the energy of this earth, the land itself, the wellspring of spirit. I would recommend, if you can, to travel, to learn about other cultures, see how other people live. Be friendly in life. We don't need to be angry and mean and trying to save or protect ourselves, because we're basically just saving and protecting programs. There's a purity in your children, in your legacy, in your life, in your ancestors. And if you can find it there, you'll know it in other people as well. And you find the sanity of the golden rule, even though it might not be some people might be using Egyptian inches, for their measurements. You might be using the metric system. Who knows? But you find common ground, and in that process you create, you build, you construct in the gaps. And that's how all art is done. That's how life is done. If you knew, why would you be here? Alright, so I was just driven to speak. The algorithm inspired me by seeing how idiotic I don't know, you see one idiotic clip and then you just get a million other ones. So it's like, a revolving door of idiocy. Idiocracy is upon us. We have to find the genius within to solve the equation. Alright, so quickly we got Scorpio ascendant 2 degrees almost here. That's the North Node of Chiron. We've got the MC here with Mercury, and a moon is in a lot of people read the moon because it's moving all the time. They say this is a balsamic to Mercury, but I say it's a new phase with Mercury. I mean, if you think of a new moon, it is closing, conjuncting, and opening. It's a 3-phase process. The moon is more important to me. So what is the awareness coming online through feeling the purity of all your experiences and knowing that fire, the fire of human heritage, is within all creation, every being, good or evil? What fight is worth the fight? How could you use the spirit for the fight to create something which benefits and ends the war and benefits everyone? We've got Pallas Athena and Pluto here at the IC. So pulling from the roots of the isness, conception itself. Beyond Aquarius is the ineffable. But Aquarius can be so nuanced and so genius that only you could see it. So it's almost the ineffable. It's right at the edge of the peak. This is where true spirit is brought into the purity of your creation, of this creation. So honor your transformation, transmute whatever it is you're going through, bring that tension into form for transformation, and allow the transcendence of reality to take place. Don't hang on to the dead. Allow them to live again, to be reborn. Alright, so that's all I wanted to say. So thanks for watching, listening, and being.